I know it's common in this day and age to use words because we've heard them from social media. So now, if you ask someone about their financial goals, they would mention a bunch of things, list them up, and then end with this term, financial freedom. But I strongly believe that financial stability comes before freedom, and you understand me in a minute. So financial stability means you can take care of your needs, mainly your needs and your wants, and can handle some small emergencies. Like you can handle a couple of emergencies consistently. The keyword is consistently. You need to be able to do that consistently for a good amount of time to be financially stable, right? That's financial stability. And financial freedom goes around saying you can take care of your needs and your wants, like pretty much any of your wants. You can take care of those things without having to stomach any financial stress, or without leaving a dent in your finances or causing any financial imbalances. That's financial freedom. So when people get to financial freedom, that's when they become work optional. Like they can choose if they want to work or not work. And that's mostly because they either have a good amount of money saved up and being invested, or they've generated a number of passive income streams. So if you really think about it, stability comes before freedom. You need to be able to take care of yourself before you can be financially free. On that note, if you are new here, hi, I'm Diane, and on this channel, I talk about things I'm figuring out about life in my 20s. I made a video previously which you guys absolutely loved, and I called it Things You Should Know About Finances. Based on the feedback on that video, I've decided to actually turn this into a series. When I was thinking about this, I was really wondering, how am I going to talk about finances? And so I'm going to be doing it in 3 categories, essentially around money. So how money comes in, what you do when you get money or when you have money, and how money leaves. So these are the 3 segments we are going to be tackling. But for today, I'm going to be focusing on how money leaves, because I feel like it's one of the areas a lot of people can make changes around easily. So how money leaves, aka how to spend money the right way. When I was a child, one of the earliest introductions I had to anything financial literacy was with a susu box. If you are watching from another country, a susu box is basically the Ghanaian version of a piggy bank. So my parents gave me a susu box and said, oh, when you have extra money, save it, or be saving your money in it. So that's essentially what I was to do with a susu box. But the thing is, if you don't know how to spend money the right way, you actually can't save money. In my previous video, you should definitely watch that video. I spoke about how you should pay yourself first, or take out your savings, take out the money you want to save first before you leave the rest of your money to be spent. But if you don't spend money the right way, at a point you're going to be cash strapped and you end up dipping into those savings and spending your savings anyway. So it's important to know how to spend money the right way. So my mission in this video is just to give you 5 pointers that will help you spend money the right way. So the foundational principles: 1, you're tracking your finances; 2, you are working with a budget. A budget isn't to restrict you, it's just to give you a plan as to how you want your money to be spent. So make sure your money is actually going to the right places. So don't ever think of a budget as this thing that's restricting you or working against you. Now, the first pointer is know your priorities. Not everything is worth your money, and not everything you end up spending your money on is something that's actually a priority to you. For example, in every video I say I'm here with my iPad, right? I got this iPad for 500 cedis. I know, I didn't even get it myself. My mom got it for me for 500 cedis. The story behind this iPad is, at a point I was seeing everybody, I'm sure you've seen it too, unbox an iPad on social media, and I started thinking, I need an iPad too. I want an iPad too. And so I started saving towards it. The target was 6,200 cedis to get an iPad. Unfortunately, someone at my mom's workplace said he was selling iPads for 500 cedis. So when she called me about it, I was like, what iPad is that? That's 500 cedis. I don't even know what model this is. It's a really, really old iPad. I don't know what model this is. But she ended up buying it for me, and I've been using it. It's over a year now. And I haven't found a need to buy a more advanced iPad or to get anything else. So know your priorities. You need to know which things are actually valuable or which things you actually want to spend your money on. Otherwise, you will end up buying things that are not really your desires, and the things that you really do desire and want to spend your money on, you won't have money for those things. So for example, if you are not someone who is so interested in tech and you're always changing your phone or buying new laptops, etc., but maybe your main desire is to travel, because you are spending all your money on these other things, you won't actually get the money to spend on what you actually desire. And it's going to put you in this state of always wanting more or wanting things and feeling like you're making money, but you're not feeling fulfilled or you're not able to afford things. But it's really because you don't know what your priorities are. You don't know what you want to be spending your money on. So get a good understanding of which things are important to you, which things would you prefer to spend your money on, and actually spend your money on those things or save towards those things. So knowing your priorities is key. Now, the second thing is to avoid lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation basically happens when you are always adjusting your lifestyle to match your new earning capacity. Just because you got a raise at work doesn't mean you have to change your car, or it doesn't mean you have to change your phone, or it doesn't mean you have to get a wardrobe change. No, you were surviving with whatever salary that was for a while. You can hold on a little bit longer. Trust me, you can. There's this rule that gets thrown around that if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it once. I feel like it's a good rule of thumb. It doesn't work for big purchases like a car or a house, but sometimes it teaches you that you can actually hold on a bit more. And with if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it once. If you can't buy it twice comfortably, don't buy it once. Like comfortably is a very important word, because let's say even with skincare, I'm always using skincare as an example. Maybe you get this new serum that's 1,000 TDs. Can you keep on buying a serum at that price comfortably? Can you? And it wouldn't do anything to your finances. It won't touch it. If you're at that point, then yeah, you can definitely buy it. But if you are not at that point, try and hold on to your money a little bit longer. Okay. Now, the third thing I'm going to say is buy in bulk when it makes sense. Buy in bulk when it makes sense, especially for repeat purchases, things you use in your daily living. You are going to know these things if you are tracking your finances, right? So cosmetics, toiletries, these are examples of things that I buy in bulk. So I could buy 12 bars of soap. I could buy 6 deo sprays. I could buy them for a good amount of time. And this has so many advantages, because whenever there's inflation and there are changes in prices, these are the things that are mainly affected first, right? So you are going to be able to sense price jumps a lot from those. So if you buy them maybe at the start of the year, not really the start, because sometimes the prices around then are high, but if in February or March you buy your things to last, if you can afford it now, maybe not for the year but for 6 months, and you are going to save money off of those small price changes due to inflation, right? That's one advantage of buying in bulk. The second thing is it gives you the ability to negotiate for discounts. Already, when you're buying things in a pack, the price is much lower than buying in singles. And also for the box, you can still offer a pack or for a good amount, even half a dozen, you can negotiate for additional discounts. And the last advantage is you'd probably get some freebies. Earlier this year, I got my perfumes for the entire year. So I got about 8 perfumes. and the vendor dashed me two like small travel size perfumes. Not really travel size because they're around 70 ml, but he dashed me those two. Technically, I would have bought those perfumes anyway. I would have bought them maybe once a month or once every other month. I would have bought those perfumes anyway, but because I bought them in bulk, he gave them to me at a wholesale price and he dashed me extra ones. And I also have a fairly good relationship with the vendor. So if you can afford to buy certain things in bulk, as long as there are things here, you know you're going to use them anyway. Like you know you're going to use those things anyway. Yeah, you should definitely buy them in bulk and try to be disciplined to not use them anyhow just because you bought them in bulk. But buying in bulk is a great idea. Now, impulse buying is real. I used to struggle with it so much, especially with dresses. Impulse buying is real. So you have to put in additional measures to avoid impulse purchases. Now, for example, buying in bulk, like I said previously, it helps you to cater for a good amount of your needs, right? But it can also help you to deal with some of these impulse purchases. Like if the impulse purchase is in relation to a new perfume or a new product, and you've already bought those for the year, you have a reason to not indulge in that impulse. You have a reason to not make that impulse purchase because you know you already have some. But sometimes when you don't have these things there, it's a little tricky. One good rule you can try and use to fight back against impulse purchases is do a 48-hour wait interval or a 24-hour wait interval, whatever works for you. So when you see something and you really want it, give yourself 24 hours or 48 hours. 48 hours is good to think about it before making that purchase. Sometimes when you just sit still and think about it, you realize that you don't need it as much. So even though every month you have leeway for your wants, you know, we did the 50, 20, 30 rule in the last video. Even though you have budgeted some money for your wants, having a way to address impulse purchases will make sure that you don't finish the money allocated for your wants very quickly. So try and wait. I'll give you 48 hours. Try and wait 48 hours to make any purchase, to be sure that you are making a sound decision and it's not just an impulse purchase. But you could also let me know if you have any strategies to deal with impulse purchases, because you have to try as much as possible to avoid them. Maybe not avoid them completely, because some of these purchases you may be getting a good deal, but try and avoid them generally. Now, the fifth pointer I will give you is to save for additional purchases. Don't purchase everything or don't purchase significant things from your savings. So if there's something you start to feel like you want to get during the month, maybe you want to make an impulse purchase, right? Try and save up for it. Sometimes when you are saving for something and you realize that it's hard to save for it, don't worry, the desire will go. Like the desire will just go. But the main reason is when you are saving towards things, it makes you more intentional about it. So not just for impulse purchases, but when you want to buy things, try to save up for them. For example, I'm trying to save up for a camera for my YouTube instead of just going to dip into my emergency fund and spend money because I want a camera. No, try and save up for it. Makes you more intentional, gives you time to also think about other things regarding the purchase. Like you would have spent a lot more time thinking about it. So by the time you're making the purchase, you'd be making a good and sound decision. So try and save towards expenses. So the right way to spend money is, one, you have to track where it's going and then be working with a budget. Those are two core principles. The other pointers, we'll run through them shortly, but the other pointers are just to help you actually stick to those initial principles. So from the top, know your priorities. One, avoid lifestyle inflation. This is very key because you can't be adjusting your lifestyle every time you get a salary bump, because it would be good to invest that excess or save up that excess. So try as much as possible to avoid lifestyle inflation. Three, when you can, buy in bulk. Like really try and make it a habit of buying in bulk, because it also helps with your budgeting for the subsequent months when you've gotten something in bulk. It makes tracking your expenses easier because you are not going to be recording, I bought soup this month, I bought soup next month. Like you won't be recording all of that. Okay, so yeah, definitely buy in bulk. The fourth thing is avoid impulse purchases. Try and work with a 48-hour waiting interval. That's key. That's actually the main strategy that moved me from everyday shopaholic to helping me make more conscious choices. So just try and wait. Okay, wait, think about it, be more intentional about it. The last pointer is save towards purchases. So as always, another short video giving you key tips. If you like this video, definitely like, comment, subscribe. Tell me which of these things you are going to start incorporating now, and share the video. I'm so glad you guys have been interacting so far. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you have any pointers, let's talk in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys. Bye.